me that things can be solved in this country of Arendia, Mandorlin challenges the Murgo, and there's a lovely little fight. The Murgo doesn't make it.
Hello there.
I
You okay?
went and moved. Now I've been waiting for a month for the next part. Are they ever going to catch up with this thief? Is Sinedra ever going to be nice? Why is the sad Cebu sad?
That's VeggieTales.
To recap, a group of people are wandering around trying to find this power orb. Some are ancient sorcerers, most are royalty, one is a blacksmith, and then there's Garian. Possibly Rivan, definitely magic, and bizarrely the center of attention.
Well, we get a little more info on all that in the third book. Magician's Gambit, published in 1983 by David Eddings, starts off with some exposition on the way to the Vale of Alder. Alder is the god that Belgariad follows. He doesn't have a people group, just a few chosen followers. Long ago, he made the orb that his brother, Torak, stole. Torak split the world in an attempt to keep the orb, but it was stolen back eventually by Belgarath and a few Alorns. Oh, one important detail I need to mention. After it was used to crack the world, the only person the orb would allow to touch it was Riva and his descendants, the Rivan kings.
Who were all killed long ago.
Yes, the Rivan warder has ruled Riva for centuries and was the one who put Torak in a coma of the last battle against him. But all of that was hundreds of years ago. In the current day, Belgarath and Silk found the trail of the thief who had stolen the orb back in the first book. His name is Zedar, by the way.
Cheddar?
Zedar. Used to be Belzedar back in the day, when he was a follower of Alder, but we'll get to that later.
We're not doing another series like this for a while. I don't have the patience for it.
Zedar's trail goes straight to the lands of the Murgos, but Belgarath received orders that the group must go to the Vale of Alder instead. Now, to get to the Vale from Naisa, they have a few options. They could go around Marigor and the mountains, or they could go straight through.
Wouldn't going straight through be quicker? They are on a time crunch.
Yeah, all the time in the world wouldn't help them if someone goes mad. Marigor is haunted.
They have ghosts? That should have been a Halloween story.
Silk entertains the group with how Belgarath broke his arm. The great and powerful sorcerer walked into a tree.
The mighty sorcerer.
And at one point before they leave the Naisan jungles, Mandorlin saves Sinedra from being eaten by a lion by crushing it with his armored hands. Sinedra makes him her knight and tries to make Garian jealous.
She likes him.
Maybe, but you need to remember, Sinedra is technically betrothed to the Rivan king. And if he doesn't show up on her 16th birthday, her father will arrange a marriage for her.
Jeez, glad I'm not a princess.
Yeah. Okay, so as they travel through a mining town, they spot Brill, that farmhand from way back in the beginning that Dernick pummeled.
Yes, go Dernick!
Brill is a lot more than he appears and is leading a heavily armed group of Murgos. Belgarath deems there are too many to fight, especially since they keep telling people about our group and offering rewards to fight them. With this particular path neatly cut off, they have to travel through Marigor.
The haunted country?
Yeah, here's your history lesson for now. The Marags had two major flaws. One, they were cannibals, and two, their land was scattered with gold. Like, go for a walk and come back rich gold. So they were massacred by the Tolnadrons.
I'm out. These freaking books.
Mara, their god, populated the empty land with the ghosts of his people. Anyone who comes looking for gold now only finds insanity.
I said I'm done. Yet you just keep going.
Nyx, you know why we share the stories. I don't get to stop just because you're uncomfortable.
But I don't have to listen.
No, but we are not going to linger on the creepy anyway. To preserve everyone's sanity, Bulgara puts their minds to sleep. Well, except for her own and Belgarath's, and Garian is only half asleep. Which gives us a chance to meet the voice in Garian's head.
So he's crazy.
No more than I am. The voice in Garian's head is basically the original purpose of the universe. See, there was a direct purpose to the universe that got messed up somehow. I think a star blew up that wasn't supposed to. But see, now there are two purposes trying to direct the course of the universe. Both created prophecies try to get their way. We got the good one.
Yes!
So the crew travels through Marigor, and the awake people meet Mara. This god has been mourning the loss of his people for eons. He ignores everything Belgarath and Polgara tell him about the coming war. Disappointed, but not surprised, they move on to the Vale. Once they leave Marigor, Polgara wakes everyone up, and Hedder makes a discovery.
Ooh, a discovery.
One of the mares is pregnant.
Baby horse!
Soon, but they have to keep traveling. Their final obstacle is a storm in the mountains, right when it was time for the mare to give birth. Garion knows of a cave in the mountains and guides the group to it.
Not anyone who has actually been there before.
It's like the voice in his head. Garion just knows stuff. And he's also the only one who could open the door to the cave, which turns out to be the god's conference room.
I swear, I feel like you're making this up.
No, the gods met here to plan out the world so everything worked together. But that's not the most important thing to happen here. At least not today.
No, of course not.
See, the foal is stillborn.
No, I don't like this book.
But Garion brings it back to life.
Yay!
This is a huge deal. No one, not even the gods, had ever brought something back to life before. And this is something that will be important later. Once the storm is past, Garion has a new horse friend, and they make their way to the Vale. I know you think so, but the horse will be important later. We'll find a good cat story eventually.
I liked it better when she couldn't talk.
Bye, Sam. Anyway, in the Vale, we get a lot of magic rules. The most important being you can't unmake anything. You can move it, blow it up, make it, break it, but not remove it from existence. That'll be important later.
Right. Adding it to my mental list.
We also briefly meet Alder and the other sorcerers, and we learn how each character is referred to by the prophecy.
Magic roll call!
Mandorlin is the Knight Protector.
Because he's Sinedra's knight.
Silk is the Guide.
Yeah, the guy's the spy who's been everywhere.
Barrack is the Dreadful Bear.
'Cause that's what he turns into when Garion's in danger.
Hedder is the Horse Lord.
He talks to horses. Prophecies have no surprises.
Dernick is the man with 2 lives.
What?
Sinedra is the Queen of the World. And Garion is the Chosen One.
Protagonist.
Well, technically he's the Child of Light, but we'll go with Chosen One for this moment. After this short sojourn, and Belgarath and Polgara had a chat with Alder, it's time to go back to chasing Zedder and the orb. Except, hang on, yeah, it turns out Zedder got into a fight with another guy and lost the orb. Oh, and Belgarath has another member of the party to pick up. So, hi-ho to Ulgo we go.
Cool. Where's Olgo?
Under the mountains. Yeah, not a huge fan either. The Olgos have lived under the mountains since Torak cracked the world, so they're used to it. It's one of the first time languages are addressed, too. Belgarath knows the language.
Because he's a billion years old.
7,000, and they're brought to the leader of the Olgo. He's a kind old man, 300 years or so, and he offers to do what he can to help them. Belgarath asks him for 2 things: to have Relg join them, and for Sinedra to stay in Olgo.
And who's this Rel guy?
Sinedra needs to stay because it's too dangerous for her to go. Spoiled imperial princesses aren't exactly great on stealth missions in enemy territory. And Relg is an Ulgo who can walk through walls and sense caves. Neither of the two like the instructions they're given, and both loudly protest. Until the god Ol, who also happens to be the father of the gods, shows up and tells them to follow directions.
So much world building.
Yeah, this is the ultimate dad of the universe. Ergo, he's got the ultimate dad voice.
I'm guessing there were no more arguments after that.
Not a one. Sinandra stayed behind and Relg took her place. He had a number of panic attacks once leaving Olgo. The guy had never been outside before, so everything was terrifying.
What?
Yeah, sky, clouds, birds, everything was new and terrifying. Think agoraphobia.
The fear of farming?
What? No! Fear of open spaces, the opposite of claustrophobia. Belgariad leads them over the border of Stolmergos, and things are beginning to get dangerous. They encounter few people on the road, and those they do meet strongly urge them to turn back. The king of the Murgos was already insane, but now he's also angry and finding any way he can to get foreigners out of his country.
Is he trying to find our people?
Maybe partially. He wants revenge on Silk, and every Murgo knows about Belgarath. He's basically their version of the boogeyman. Somewhere between the capital and the border is a trading camp, and Silk just happens to meet an old friend who invites them to talk. Just in time. The king of the Murgos is coming. Silk bails. The others wait just a bit to hear out the situation, and then duck out the back of the tent to hide until it was dark enough to leave. And it's good they waited. Silk was caught.
They caught him?
Brill was back, and he caught Silk riding out of town. The king wants to make a spectacle of his execution and tosses him into a pit.
Rest in peace, my dude. Rest in peace.
Yeah, if it weren't for Relg, he would be resting in pieces. Relg traveled through the rock and brought Silk out safely. Well, mentally scarred and his claustrophobia was increased, but physically he was safe.
Nice.
Yeah. Our group is on high alert now as they continue their journey to Tuchik and the orb. Tuchik is the name of the guy who stole the orb from Zetter. The priests of Torak have some telepathic power and are seeking them out. Belgarath is busy trying to keep Tuchik out, so Polgara and Garion make a mental shield to hide them. It almost works.
Almost.
One of the priests finds them. Polgara drives him insane. When they finally make it to the city, it isn't what many of them expected. The city is built on top of a cliff. Relg finds them a path through the caverns up the cliff and into the city itself. And while traveling, they find something unexpected. Or rather, someone.
I'm not guessing. There's no way I'd get it right anyway.
I wasn't going to make you guess. They found a Marag woman. The Murgos kept slaves from many nations, and somehow she had escaped.
Wait, I thought all the Marags were dead.
Belgarath had searched for survivors for years. No one knew there were any survivors. But, in the moment, they left her safely in the caves and planned to pick her up on their way back. We managed to sneak right up to where Tuchik is with only one little hiccup. Brill turns up again.
Again?
And for the very last time, Silk ever so graciously tosses him off a cliff, and they hear him bounce at the bottom. He's gone for good.
Alright. Classic Disney villain death.
I question your memory often.
Yeah, me too.
When they finally meet Tuchik, he's staring at the orb of Alder and a little boy sitting in the corner. The boy, a complete innocent, had been able to touch the orb without burning. Well, Tuchik picks a fight with Belgarath, and as this huge magic fight is going on, the kid picks up the orb and tries to hand it to Garion. Tuchik notices this and panics and just shouts, "Be not!"
Aha! Rule 1 of magic. You can't unmake anything.
Exactly. Tuchik explodes. Without him, the whole city begins to crumble. They snag the kid and book it back through the caves. And there the book ends.
What?
Book 3 ends. We'll pick up with Book 4, Castle of Wizardry, next time.
Cliffhanger. What about the Marag woman? Do they make it out before everything falls apart?
Tune in next time. But hey, I made an 8-sided dice to go with this one. Yeah, since Silk likes to gamble and I was making it for something else anyway.
I hate you.
Yeah, I know. See you next time.